Hello and welcome. My name's Super Saiyan and this is your weekly news and pre-order video covering all of the news, pre-orders and new releases from Games Workshop. I want to say a warm welcome to you new subscribers. A massive thank you to all of you members that support the channel, support the content. I release on average about 5-6 videos every single week. This past week I've been continuing with the Mechanicum videos. I think last week was the Arquitor Magisterium. Then I think at the start of the week it was the Secutarii Axiarch. Then I think Wednesday was the Valdor Tank Destroyer for Solar Auxilia. I still have the Arvis Lighter to review. And then yesterday was the Krios Battle Tank. A bit later, I released that video a bit later than I expected, just because of the amount of time it took to export and upload, really. But I hope you've been enjoying the content, and we'll go straight into all of the news. So if we go back in time to last weekend, to Saturday, we could have a look at all of the pre-orders. Now, I did say I haven't pre-ordered any of the Emperor's Children. It's getting to the point now where there's just too many pre-orders for me to keep track of, for me to keep up with. There's just too many now. Every single week they're releasing like the full releases for all of the armies. But having said that, it was a great weekend for Emperor's Children. Pretty much everything's sold out. You might be able to get some of these products and units if you're lucky, but we had the Codex Emperor's Children, we had the special edition, we had the collector's edition, which sold out very quickly. We had Fulgrim himself, Primarch of Slaanesh. I will pick him up at some point. I think he's a cool model. And then Lucius the Eternal, again I'll pick him up. The Lord Cacophonist, I've really tried, guys. I've really tried to like him, but I just can't. Everything from this big organ on the back to the big coiled pipes to his pistols and his legs and even his helmeted head, I just can't get on board with him at all. And also, where does he stand in the army? Yes, he's a Lord Cacophonist, but I expect the Lord Cacophonist to have some kind of massive beefy weapon and things to go with the Noise Marines, and this guy just doesn't. It just doesn't tick any of the boxes for me. Lord Exultant is a lovely model though, and then you've got the Flawless Blades, which are fantastic. Pricey though, you know, you're only getting 3 plastic minis, but they are great. You've got the Noise Marines. This is the thing, if you miss out on a few of these releases, there will be a Combat Patrol being released. I'm not sure why they're taking so long and they're not releasing it at the same time. Maybe because they know that you save a bit of money by picking it up, you know, because you get the Flawless Blades, you get the Lord Exultant, you get Noise Marines, and I think you get some Tormentors as well. Yeah, so here's the Tormentors and Infractors. 10 Emperor's Children Space Marines, and you can pick them to be either 10 Tormentors or 10 Infractors. It's a nice kit though, it really is. Like, there's the optional assembly as Infractors. My review of the Infractors is coming very, very soon, so watch this space. You've also got the dice and the data sheets. For Black Library, we had Fulgrim's own novel, The Perfect Son, written by Jude Reed. Again, not sure why it's kind of red, a bit like Khorne instead of pink or purple. I mean, it's got a purple page keeper, which is nice, and it was actually cheaper than I expected. I thought it'd be like £45, and it turned out to be 40, so that was a nice surprise. Just hope it's better than that atrocious Angron novel. You've got the standard edition in hardback, I think, and then Ahriman Undying by John French, and then some other different language books. So they were all the pre-orders last week, Saturday. The very next day, I kind of expected, it's very cheeky of Games Workshop to do this like 2 weeks in a row to release all of the Emperor's Children models, and then the very next week release the High Elves. You've got the rest of the High Elves. So you've got the Mages, you've got the Dragon Princes of Kaeldor or Kalador, Elven Archers, Elven Spearmen, Tyrannok Chariots, the Lothern Skycutter, quite nice. And then Necromunda, again, they've released all of the hired guns and things, which include the Abyssal Ferryman, Hagthor, Jarlan, and Asta Felstern. You've got Silberlant Sevos, the Infotech. It's pretty cool. It kind of reminds me of a gamer in the 41st millennium, you know, with the dual screens and things. You've got the Prophet of Redemption. Yeah, his torch is very, very fancy. You know, it's kind of almost made up of a skeleton there. Yeah, cool looking mini. I like that one. And he's got a very, very fancy hat there. So he's a Redemptor priest cast in Forge World resin. You got Vandoth the Fallen. Basically looks a bit like a Space Marine. And he does wield a mighty bolt gun in one hand. So there's that. You've got the Whisper Merchant and Psychoteric Thrall. Yeah, you know, obviously dealing, do you want some death sticks kind of deal? This chap has, you know, got enough money for a gun or some bionics and things, but doesn't have enough money for another boot. It's a bit odd. And this one has, it looks like two different boots. I don't know, I might be nitpicking there. I might be nitpicking. For Legions Imperialis, you've got the Karachnos Assault Tank Squadron, which conversely you've got two Trioros conveyors in there as well. 500 transfers, wow. Those transfers must be tiny. The Krios Squadron, looks like you've got lightning cannons, and then you've got the... it says it can be built as Krios Venator, but can't see any Krios Venators there. But they're the irradiation blasters. You've got the Acastus Knights Asterius. They were in resin. I still haven't built mine, if I'm perfectly honest, but you get two plastic ones. And then the Cerastus Knight Atrapos. Again, I've got these in resin. I'm sure I must have built these, but these are quite cool. You've got the Crostoris Knights Megara and Styrics. Again, I did have these in resin. They look very, very nice though in plastic. And then for Warhammer the Horus Heresy, if all of that wasn't enough, you've got Asta Crone, the Shroud Maker. Very nice Blood Angels mini, very fancy, lots of filigree and things on there, and his axe is pretty good actually. His rules can be found in the Martian Civil War book, which might still be available. And it's the same for Cade's Next or KD's Next. The Blood Crow. This is like a Moritat, HQ Moritat. Very nice, got the fulcrum pistols. I would have liked to have seen him in a better pose. I think this pose is, I don't know, I think the normal Moritat poses are better, but I think I will pick him up because he is for Raven Guard, and Raven Guard are one of my 6 Horus Heresy forces. So yeah, most likely you'll see him on the channel soon. Black Library, you've got an audiobook, Lucius the Faultless Blade. And then Warhammer Plus, you had How We Roll, Lawmasters, and Ultimate Paint Off. So there's those. Not so much animated content and things, is there? Bit of a shame. You've got, then throughout the week, we had Starting an Emperor's Children Army in Warhammer 40,000, everything you need to know. These are usually pretty good, from painting to lore. Yeah, look, very, very good articles, these. So if you're thinking about Emperor's Children, look, Combat Patrol. So you've got 6 Flawless Blades, you've got 10 Infractors. Oh, I actually thought you got Noise Marines in there. I guess you don't. Okay. It's not too bad then. I probably won't pick up this Combat Patrol though, because I'm not interested in another 10 Tormentors or Infractors or the Exultant, and I think I'll only, you know, get 3 Flawless Blades anyway. But there's that. You've got painting, you've got different colours. Not much there for painting. Would have liked a more expanded article for them. You've got the rules, you've got to look at the units, you've got Fulgrim, Shalaxi Hell, Bane. You got the fiction, so you got these novels, and then start your collection, and then shop the full range. Then on the same day, on the Monday, we had a look at the new drop pods. I can't believe we've got a second iteration of plastic Space Marine drop pods with tactical rocks before we got plastic Horus Heresy Dreadnought drop pods. Yeah, I am lost for words with this. These drop pods have, got the tactical rocks around. Of course, I'm going to get them. Of course. Do you get 2 in 1 though? They come in pairs, yeah. It's going to be interesting, the price. These better be priced at 20 quid. You know that these are going to be priced at 30, maybe 40 pounds probably, for a pair of these. They might even be cheeky and charge 50. We'll see. But they're both going to look exactly the same. I will pick up a pair just because, but it would have been nice to actually get some Dreadnought drop pods to go with the thousands and thousands of Contemptors and Leviathan Dreadnoughts that Horus Heresy have helped to sell. Land Raider at 25, this does make me feel old. I remember as a child picking up 3. Some people couldn't even get 1, but I had a job and was able to pick up 3 Land Raiders. I think they had a deal on. It was like 3 for, I want to say £50 or 60. It was something like that. Yeah, this glorious lump of plastic was first released 25 years ago. That's not really very respectful, is it? Lump of plastic. That lump of plastic, GW, is one of the reasons why you're so big today, actually. That's probably one of your most successful kits you've ever produced, and it spawned lots of different kits, such as the Spartan, and then you've modified it for the Grey Knights Land Raider. That's what the first one looked like. And I do remember playing against people that had those. Very, very odd. And then, yeah, you've got the Land Raider Mark III. So I did have this White Dwarf as well. And, yeah, back then, rhinos were still looking like that. They looked awful for a while. And then you've got the variants. So they then brought out the... yeah, not very good, is it? They've Land Raider Crusader, there you go. They should actually write what the variants are though, just to help. I mean, if you're new to Land Raiders and things, that might have been helpful. But yeah, the Crusader came out, and this, they couldn't, even though the Land Raider sold so much and it's very popular, they still couldn't invest enough resources into making the plastic Hurricane bolters and the assault cannons and these frag launchers on the tracks. So all those pieces were metal and did weigh down the tank a little bit more. But eventually it came out in plastic in a dual kit with this Redeemer, is it? And these Flamestorm cannons were fantastic. They were AP3 back in the day. So they would melt Space Marines, and there was actually a valid reason to take that. Then you've got the Command or Primaris Land Raider. Was it the Land Raider Excelsior? Yeah, Excelsior. Yeah, I've got a couple of those. I think you can pick those up from Games Workshop HQ only, and you get the Rhino Primaris in with the kit as well. But it's a lovely vehicle, lots of extras and things on there. Then Forge World brought out some variants. They just added their resin parts. So we had the Helios with this missile launcher on the top. Just took like the Whirlwind missile launcher. We had the Achilles, which had these more durable front armor plating, which was resistant to like lance weapons and melter weapons, I think. And it had dual multi-melters on the sponsons, and I really, really wanted to pick one up, but unfortunately I just missed the boat. And I wish I did. It had one of these cannons on the front. I'd totally forgotten. what those cannons are called, but yeah, that was nice. And then we had the Prometheus, which had dual quad heavy bolters, and it was more of a command Land Raider. And then Horus Heresy, we saw the introduction of the standard Land Raider, like Proteus, I think, and then the massive Spartan, and yeah, they've had other iterations and things. It goes on to say, we love the Land Raider, and we'd love to see your Land Raiders. Do you have one you bought back in the year 2000? Yes, I do. Do you have a heavily kit-bashed Chaos? Yeah, this is the thing. They didn't show any Chaos Land Raiders and things. Share them with us on Instagram. Okay. So yeah, I would love to see these variants come back. For 40k, that would be great. But they're all about the Primaris and the repulsors and things, aren't they, nowadays? So that was a bit of a trip down memory lane. We've got the Rumour Engine on the 15th of April. Yeah, that looks very sort of 40k Skull-esque. Space Marine 2 got a free DLC, the Trigon operation. It's a few gigs, I think, and yeah, it's really, really awesome. If you're subscribed to the channel, you've probably watched a few of my live streams. Some of them I've talked in, some of them I've just let the game do the talking, and yeah, I found it very fun. I don't want to spoil too much for you, but yeah, this was released this week for free. They've introduced a few new things like this Inferno pistol. I've relic leveled mine, so max level. It's very decent. I think it's like the strongest weapon in the game if you go for like the one shot and then the 50% damage, and then you couple that with like a Auspex or something, and yeah, it's just very, very short range and not huge ammo capacity. I think for season pass owners, we got the Space Wolves skins, which are nice. I mean, I'm not, up on Space Wolves, but yeah, I mean, okay, if you're into that, that's fine. And then some of their weapons got a Space Wolf skin as well. And then Imperial Fists, we didn't get any loads of Imperial Fist stuff. All we got was the skins for the skin for the tactical, and then for some reason the Plasma Incinerator got a Space Wolf got a Imperial Fist skin. Yeah, I mean, I would have liked a heavy bolt rifle skin, because I don't think there is one. But that would have for me made more sense, or even a heavy bolter skin for Imperial Fists. But it is what it is. So yeah, we got those for the season pass owners. And also there were other few tweaks and changes. Like, one of my favourites is that the Salt can now use a power sword, whereas before he couldn't. It was only a chainsword, thunder hammer, and fist, I think. But now he can use the power sword. So power sword and Inferno pistol is a nice little combo. You're just a bit weak in range, that's all. So yeah, nice update for Space Marine 2. Thought I'd cover that. You've got a Warhammer TV this week, How We Roll Walks the Path to Glory. You've got learning to paint better and faster by painting really slowly. So they talk about glazing. The desire to paint everything released is still very strong. Yeah. So there's a little tutorial. Narrative play in Middle-earth. Join the final battle. Behold a cornucopia of chaos colour schemes from Vincent Notley. Starting an Astra Militarum army in Warhammer 40k. Again, I like these articles, but this is way overdue. This should have been released, weeks and weeks ago with the release of the Codex. But yeah, it's nice that they've included this, but it's woefully out of date for them to release it now. Then you've got Warcom, Workbench, Free Blades and Fat Goblins. And then Alejandro Mancuso attracts the Eye of Dark Gods with 4 magnificent Primarchs. So yeah, look at these. Wow. Crazy. Oh, I like the snow. That's quite cool. Yeah, Angron's brilliant. And that is it for all of the news. Let's jump on over to the Games Workshop's web store and have a look at all of these elves and hired guns and bounty hunters and things like that. Hey, and here we are on Games Workshop's web store, and there's a big advert here for High Elf Realms for Warhammer the Old World. There's a couple of things going on here as well. And then, yeah, you've got these minis. So if we go to new and exclusive and we look at all pre-orders and we go high to low. Right, so we've got a few of the Emperor's Children pre-orders from last weekend, such as the Emperor's Children Limited Edition. You've got Fulgrim, which is still available, £102.50. You've got the Collector's Edition, £65 for the Codex, and then these look like the new releases. So you've got the Tyrannoc Chariots, £52.50 for High Elves. They are plastic, 98 plastic components there. Just like the idea of having, you know, that's your standard chariots, and then these chariots is pulled by lions. That's brilliant. Then you've got Elven Archers, £52.50 for these. Yeah. Are these the old models though? 360 plus components. I don't know. Don't know if these are old. Quite cool though. You've got the Elven Spearmen. Again, same price, £52.50. These got to be the old minis, right? 480 plastic components. Wow, that's a lot of plastic for these. How many do you get? 32 Elven Spearmen. Can you imagine if Lumineth Realm Lords had 32 Spearmen in their box? You've got the Dragon Princes of Calidor. These look very cool. Yeah. You've got like dragon horsey armor. £52.50 for these, and you're getting 10, 188 plastic components. Very nice. You've got the Legions Imperialis, Mechanicum, Cerastus, Knights, Atrapos. You're getting 4 of these, £47.50. That's not too bad. You get some funky new heads as well. So you get your standard heads. Yeah, look at these. These are different. Might be worth it to get the different heads, because you only get one head with the standard Atrapos. The Lothern Sky Cutter, £47.50 for this. Oh, so you can have it in two poses, it looks like. Oh, and then you've just got archers on the back instead of the ballista or whatever it's called. Eagle Eye Bolt Thrower, that's what it is. With the wings up or wings down. So that's nice. 74 plastic components. You can have, get 2 of them and they're going to look different, which is cool. The Fulgrim Perfect Sun, I swear that was £40. I swear. I might have been wrong. But yeah, that's out of stock. Tormentors are out of stock for some reason. Noise Marines were last week as well. Now, these are the 2 new characters. Looking at the price, I'm having second thoughts about spending £37.50 on a single resin Space Marine now. I am having second thoughts. I think they've bumped up the prices of these. Yeah. How much are the... Anyway, let's talk about these first. But Asta Crone, got a very nice power plant with a sanguinary guard. Dante, sanguineous type helmet face on there, mask thing going on. You're getting 14 resin components with this one, £37.50. Stings though. And then this Katie's Necks doesn't have a helmet version, which sucks. You know, for £37.50 you'd expect him to have that. 10 resin components, hardly any pieces there for the £37.50. I just wanted to do another check of console. So the consoles are now a little bit more expensive than the Phoenix Lords, but only by a little bit. And that's kind of what I would have expected Katie's Necks to be, is £28.50. Yeah, the reason why he's £37.50, so the extra £9, is because he's quite unique. He's a unique character, so you know they're going to sell more Traitor Esoterus consoles than they are Katie's Necks, because Katie's Necks is a specific HQ character for a specific legion. I mean, if we just type in Imperial Fists, let's just do that. Yeah, look at Lord Castellan of Vandegarius, £41.50. I actually wanted another character. Here we go, look at this. Well, those have got massive bases, but when you think that Alexis Pollux is only £8 more than Katie's Necks, like even the Tartarus Praetor, the smaller Praetor is £4 cheaper. I'm looking for, well, that's plastic. So is Torgaradon. So is Torgaradon. I was looking for another character somewhere. So £37.50 for those two characters. Yeah, I think I would have preferred them at like £34. That would probably been all right, like 33 or 34. But at almost £40 now for a single resin Space Marine. Yeah, it's about time they started bringing these out in plastic, because if they did, they would most likely cost £28. You've got the Legions Imperialis Mechanicum Asterius. So Knights, you've got two of these, £37.50. It's not too bad. They are going to be pretty big minis, really, and you're getting 94 plastic components. So yeah, a bit of a project for those. They're nice. Flawless Blades was last week, so was the Emperor's Children. Now these are some of the hired guns. So we've got these Abyssal Ferryman, Hagthor, Jarlan, and Asta Felstern, £36. So they're kind of £18 each. Yeah, not my cup of tea really, but 21 resin components for those two. You've got the Mechanicum Questoris Knights, the Magira and Styrics in one box set, so two of each. I always get them mixed up, but I think the Styrics is the one with the Volkite and the Magira is the one with the lightning cannon. I always think that the one with the the one with the Volkite is the Magira though. Magira is armed with the lightning cannon, there you go, and the Styrics is armed with the Volkite, and I can never pronounce that word. Chevy. Shioravile? Shioravile? I don't know. Then you've got the Mechanicum Krios Battle Tank Squadron. And yeah, you do get one image of it as a Venator. Recently just reviewed this Krios, not for Legions Imperialis, but for full size 20mm scale. Yeah, nice tank. £31.50 for these 6, and you're getting 120 plastic components. You've also got the Karachnos sort of set, where you get 4 of them. I've yet to build the Karachnos. I'm really looking forward to it. I might actually build it next, to be fair. But yeah, you can build 4 Karachnos tanks, £31.50, and you're getting 124 plastic components. Lucius was last week. High Elf Mages, £27.50 for these. 2 of them, one on horseback, one on some stones. They're cool looking. I like them. They are plastic, 32 plastic components, so I'm guessing these are brand new for the army. There's a Space Marine right here, Vandolph the Fallen. Yeah, look, you've got the ports looking his arms and things, interface with power armor maybe, one-handed a bolt gun. You've got some kind of Space Marine power armor thing going there. Hulking hired gun. Clad in heavy carapace armor. 10 resin components and £25.50. You've got the Prophet of Redemption, £25.50 for this one. You know, back in the day, if this was a metal mini, he would have probably cost about 6 or 7 quid. 14 resin components for this one. Looks all right. You've got a gamer in the 41st millennium, Silberlant Sevos, the Infotech. Have you tried turning it off and on again? £25 for this one. It's on some kind of like odd jet chair thing. I don't know. It must hover about. Resin kit, 16 components, 40mm base. Looks cool. I wouldn't mind having one of these just in the background of the Mechanicus army or something. I mean, I know he's not Mechanicus, but just as like the administrator, keeping tabs on how much I've spent on Warhammer or the points cost of all my armies. I don't know. Whisper Merchant and Psychoteric Thrall with odd boots and one boot and no boot. £25 for this pair in resin and 16 components. And then you've got some more Emperor's Children stuff that was last week. So that's it. So quite a lot of pre-orders this weekend. You've got all the High Elf stuff. You've got some Legions Imperialis. And you've got a couple of characters for Horus Heresy. And you've got the hired guns for Necromunda. So yeah, it's a nice splattering of new releases and pre-orders this weekend. What do you guys think? Are you still just looking forward to the Emperor's Children main release next weekend? Or have you pre-ordered the characters? Or are you still into Legions Imperialis? Or do you have too many game systems that you collect and play? Please do put your thoughts and opinions down in the comments below. It'd be good to hear from you. Thank you for watching. The Emperor Protects.